it's time to take the foot off. Sometimes it's a little stressful, but we did a pretty good job here of getting this set up, and I already have the jam check ready for where we got it true before. So we'll take that off. I think I'm going to put some texture on it too, make it a little interesting to look at. Most people don't see the bottoms unless you are pointing them out to them. But when they're on a craft table and it's got something interesting on the bottom, they flip it over, look at the signature, and they see that it's been, you know, textured on the bottom, or you've added a nice spiral around your name. I think that always goes a little further for folks. You know, they're like, hey, well, that's a little extra special. Bowls like this, though, from my experience, and my experience is limited, you know, generally you're going to sit on a coffee table, and most people, once they're there, don't pick them up, especially because of the bark. They think the bark looks fragile, so it has people like real reluctant to, as a guest anyway, to pick it up and go, oh yeah, look at that. So I'm going to use the terry on this instead of the non-slick, because I do not want to leave any marks on the inside. So I'm going to grab these, your typical car wash, you know, car wash type things here. And I had already taken apart all of our my tailstock and stuff, so I'll put that back up. Sorry, got on a rabbit trail there. I'm going to go and put my face shield back on, and let's take the bottom of this thing off here. We're almost to the home stretch, guys. Spun up nice and true. That's got to make you feel good. I'm going to get the big crown out here. Some real delicate passes. As I was doing this, I just thought, you know, it'd be kind of nice. Add a little rounded foot there. We got a knot here. So I'm going to add a little rounded foot. I'll cove this back out to the edge, add a little foot here, and then the rest will just be flat in where we can do our texture. Basically just be a bead. Flatten a little spot out in here. My foot. grab a straight edge and make sure that we're clearing everything. Grab a straight edge. One must have their straight edge out there. Balance as close as we need, just to see if we're going to clear. Yep, our foot is proud of everything else. So that should be easy enough. I'm going to clean this up in here a little bit before we do one last little rounding on that, probably with the spindle gouge. Let's get out the little crown spindle there. I'm starting to hear the thinness there. We don't want to join the funnel club at this one. Just a little bead, going down. That'll do, it'll create a little shadow line when the piece is sitting. Save that knot okay. That all looks pretty good. So I'll just do a quick sanding on this outside before I texture the inside here. And I'll just use, just do it by hand. Be a quick process. I'll go ahead and just use the Abernet we were already using for the earlier. It's a pretty good finish. I'll just start at 120. Don't want to bore you guys. A lot of the sanding, even when I'm talking, this might end up just being me talking to myself, I don't include in the videos just because I've had some feedback that no one wants to watch sanding. But I have had other people who say, hey, how do you finish? I'd really like to learn how to finish better. Some people, I've seen some guys who can really turn and have a hard time finishing their pieces, and other guys who can't turn at all, but boy, they put these elaborate finishes on stuff, and some of it's interesting to me. I've seen some very elaborate lacquer type finishes that are on pieces that I wouldn't be particularly proud to show off or take to a show or anything. But you know, everyone's got their own style. We all do things differently. So watching sanding and finishing is, you know, relaxing, and you're learning something from it. And I'd love to continue to add it for you, but if it's just a waste and you're fast forwarding over it, or you tune it out and go into some other video, let me know, because that'd be, you know, I want to give you value. I want you to see what you want to see, learn what you want to learn, but I also know that what's interesting to me isn't going to be for everyone. I used to love watching how Richard Raffin finishes his stuff, and when I really got into watching YouTube videos of turning instead of DVDs, I mean, I grew up on Richard Raffin VHS tapes. That was my first exposure to any kind of turning lessons, other than a neighbor who got me interested in turning, which is what our job is as turners, get the next generation ready for it, right? Get them excited. But yeah, he was showing me that, and right away I went out and bought myself, I think it was at Woodcraft in Tustin, California, bought myself a Richard Raffin set and started learning. So I loved the mineral oil and beeswax. Love that. Love his soft. That little detail is now ready for texture. So I still still have my mineral oil here, still have a waxy sock just like Richard Raffin, but I've kind of developed some things that I just work a little bit better for me over the years. But that's still one of the easiest, funnest ways to finish. So you've, from back over there, hold on. You guys have all seen me talk about the Ron Brown texturing tool. I'm not affiliated or anything. There might be a link in my links, but I don't have any affiliation with the guy. But it's super heavy weight, so you have a lot of control, and it's got a double spiral on it, and it's super easy to use. I actually started out right around 450 RPM, depending on what I'm trying to do. I'm going to go a little slower because I want a bigger pattern. And all you do is just kind of slightly angle the tool in, get that wheel spinning, and pull it out. And I just go back in, same speed. And that usually puts a nice spiral pattern like that on the bottom. I mean, I always found that to be a very attractive pattern. And then something I learned from Mike Peace, is this, I made this little point tool following his video, and I just kind of highlight where that texture is with a little line. So just kind of touch the point tool in. Now in this particular case, I'm not going to put a line on the outside. I'm using the delineation of the foot for my line there. But after we take off this nub, and I sign inside there, I might even sign on the outside ring here. I have to decide. Ooh, look, I got some little scratches here. I'm going to have to work that out. I might actually sign it out here on the ring, or I could sign it on the inside there. We'll put the YT for YouTube, and so people know that this was a YouTube piece. And now we'll just we'll peel away the rest of this. Wait a minute. Let's go ahead and buff that out from this end, because I can do that at higher speed with the grit. No point in me having to hand do all that, right? Now you can't really use the grit on the texture. It grabs the towel and tears it to pieces. Got here we were using earlier. So a teeny bit of my grit. Crank the speed up a bit. Just gonna go on the outside edge here. And the area that I overshot. I'm going to try to get on top of our little buddy there, our little bead foot. Get some pressure on it. More speed, a little more pressure. Just wiping it off. I'm going to try to gently pass over that clean part of the towel. It has a little bit of Howard's on it. And I just want to see if we can do the top surface here a little bit. Not down into the texture. It should make this texture pop a little bit. See what you think. Inside should still be unfilled. Yeah, see, that made the texture pop quite a bit. Just running a little Howard's waxing feed on the outside there. And then I'll run it with the direction of the pattern, just on the outside surface, real light pressure. I don't want to fill that up. And all of our scratches are gone. Let's go ahead and peel that little foot off there. I'll get it down as small as I can. Might be able to pop it right off like Mr. Phil Anderson from Shady Acres does. If we get lucky, I'll keep my spindle gouge out for that. I've had some, man, it just boop comes right off, real simple. Others where it burns, and some others where it kind of twists off. It creates all this torn grain down there, and you really want to be careful of that because you can't get rid of that. You're always going to have a little hole in that torn grain at the bottom of the bowl if you're not careful. So we'll put in a tool rest. I like to get right up to it. So I'm just going to peel away at that with the pointy gouge. What's going on there? A little too hot. That's unusual. That one usually pretty simple. Boom, boom, boom. Good. We didn't nick into anything. So just a bit of clearance. Okay. There's a little bit of vibration. too convex because then I can't sand it easily. And then it sands some. Slow it down quite a bit. We're doing almost 800 RPM there. Got a 1/2 inch spindle gouge here. Just cleaning this up a little before I take that nub off. Right. So now I'm going to put a little pressure to the headstock. And the nub stops spinning. Pull it through. See that? Let's hope it didn't tear, because sometimes, like I said, it'll tear. So just have to do some extra sanding, which I don't care for. Oop, it came right off. So that's again, that's Phil from Shady Acres. I'm sure if you're watching me, you've heard of him. He's one of the best YouTube wood turners out there. So I'll go do a little bit of light sanding with this with a 2-inch disc, even though it's pretty polished up. Sign my name on it, and I'll bring you back when we're ready to spin it on the spinner. Appreciate you guys watching and taking the time.